And we bring in Bill Parcells. Bill, it's Michael and Don. How you doing today?
I'm doing well, fellas. But, Mike, I wanted to ask you something about last week's show. When I told you the Giants were going to beat the Redskins, you kind of reacted with a lot of skepticism. What was up with that?
You know what? I should never doubt you, and that is my bad. Although I did pick the Giants when we made our selection, so you swayed me.
Good.
You swayed me, and I won a game because of you.
No, you didn't.
I picked the Giants.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
You didn't.
No, that was the difference. I did.
No.
I took the Redskins?
Yeah, you don't even know what you're doing.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't listen, Bill. I got messed up.
You picked the Lions.
I picked the Lions.
He's a little confused today, Bill. I apologize.
I'm going to listen to you from now on.
All right, go ahead.
All right. We had Rex on, and we kept asking about quarterback changes, and he kept saying it's a Jet decision. It's not a Rex run. It's a Jet decision. So I ask you this specific question: when you decided to go with Scott Bruner over Phil Simms, start him, did you go to George Young and talk with him, or was it totally your call?
Well, no, I talked with him. Yes, I recall doing that and telling George what I was going to do. And, of course, retrospectively, that turned out to be a mistake. But at the time, I'd only see Phil Simms play 5 games, and I'd seen Bruner play, 2 years, basically. So there wasn't a big difference in training camp at that time, so we made the decision. But if I had to do over again, I would have done it differently.
Well, it's not even a question of the decision. What I'm asking you, Bill, could George Young have told you, no, you're not making that decision? Well, I want Phil Simms to start?
I don't think the general manager would do that. No, I think that the players on the field and who's playing and when, are up to the coach. I think the general manager's place is to ask the coach to consider some things, maybe that the coach wouldn't have considered, that might be important to the overall picture, as the franchise perceives it to be. But just an adamant statement, hey, this guy's playing, no, I don't think that's right. I don't think the GM would do that.
Well, when we were talking to Rex, we asked him specifically about that, and he said, all decisions are Jet decisions. And then I asked him about specifically making a move in-game, and he just didn't want to go there. Now, later in the week, he said, sure, I make all in-game decisions. But whether it's Marty Morningweg being admittedly in charge of the offense, and some of the ways that it sounds like Rex conducts himself, do you get a sense that he is fully in charge of that line of scrimmage? Is he fully in charge of what's happening on the sidelines with his team?
Fellas, I don't think there's any doubt about that. I mean, you can't have other people making in-game and game day decisions for the coach. That's what he was hired to do. So I would doubt very seriously that there's anybody doing that. And if they are doing it, then they need to, if they're in position of authority, then they need to go down there and coach the team or, get somebody else to coach it. But I don't think it's right for them to, or if someone is doing that, that's just out of place.
Is that why you made that statement, Bill? If I'm going to cook the food, I want to buy the groceries, because you didn't want somebody over your shoulder?
No, that's not why I made that statement. I made that statement because I didn't think the people that were making those decisions were qualified to do it.
Okay.
They were totally inexperienced. We had a general manager, never been a general manager. We had a personnel director that had only been a scout. Okay, and we had an owner that was in football for 6 months. So that's why I made the statement.
All right, so you look at the Jets. From what you saw in that game, would you have pulled the trigger and maybe had Michael Vick start the second half?
I told you last week, I'm not pulling the trigger. I'm not going to do it. This is a young guy. He's in his developmental stage. You got to keep in mind that this doesn't happen overnight at that position, and sometimes it doesn't happen at all. But I'm not willing to go 20 games into a guy's career and say, this guy cannot play, he's not the quarterback for us. That's just, there's just too much to experience, too much he can get better at, too much. I think you've seen some positive signs from this guy. Is it perfect? No. But does he have a chance? I think he does. Will he do it? I don't know the answer to the question. But right now, I'm not pulling the trigger because when I do that, if I ever have to go back to him, my team is going to know that I'm not confident in him.
One of the things I thought was really, really cool about you when you coached, you knew that every game was so important. Every game was sacrosanct. So can Rex look at the big picture, or doesn't he have to look, I've got to win this game against San Diego. What quarterback on my team gives me the best chance? Michael Vick or Geno Smith? So when did you look longer term, and when did you just say, I've got to win this game, Bill?
Well, I would try to play the players that give me the best chance to win.
Right.
Now, they made a commitment in training camp that this was going to be their guy. 4 games into the season, I just don't think, based on what I've seen and the supporting cast that he has, we're not playing solitaire out there, fellas. This isn't solitaire. Now, he's a vital piece of the team and its performance, but it's not solitaire. He needs help. And in a lot of cases, he's not getting the proper help.
All right, so now they go to San Diego, going up against a really good football team that beat Seattle in San Diego when they played them. Can the Jets literally save their season, Coach? Because I'm not sure at 1-4 with the Denver Broncos coming up the next week whether the season could be salvageable.
Listen, we're getting to a very critical time. I understand all of that. But when the Jets play well on defense, and I didn't think they played particularly well last Sunday, but they didn't play terribly either, okay? And I think they always have a chance if they play well on defense. Now, the San Diego's got a veteran quarterback that knows what he's doing. He's got a great tight end. He's got some other young receivers that are doing pretty well. They really don't have a running game, so it's a one-dimensional offense. Their defense is playing pretty good. So it's a tough challenge at best for the Jets. But I don't think it's impossible if the Jets play to their optimal.